What's going on, YouTube? Thomas L here. With the new Mads Mikkelsen film Arctic opening this week, since the film is a tale of survival, I decided to do my top 10 favorite survival movies. Where someone is like trapped either on a desert island or space or whatever, and they had to fight for survival. Those movies, I gotta say, most of them are literally intense. Like these films that's on my list are films that I cannot really watch over and over, to be honest. Yeah, but that being said, here's my top 10 list. Coming in at number 10 will be The Revenant. Now, this is the movie that pretty much won Leonardo DiCaprio his first Oscar. I mean, the movie was good, I admit, but I think he should. I think he should have maybe won an Oscar for a different film before. But hey, I'm glad he finally won because Leonardo DiCaprio is by far one of the best actors in the business. He is awesome, and I mean, here he had to fight with a bear. Now there was like some stupid reports that he got raped by a bear or whatever. I have no idea what was up with those reports, but whatever. But anyway, The Revenant is a really good movie. I mean, it was directed by Alejandro G. Inarritu. Kind of wish he does another film. I mean, he hasn't done a movie since Revenant and Birdman, so kind of sad to see that he's not directing anything lately. But he's a really good director, and I thought he did a really good job with The Revenant. It is a little bit slow and I mean long, like it is really long, but it's still a pretty decent film. I mean, Tom Hardy was good. Forrest Goodluck, who plays Leo's son in this, was really terrific. You also had Domhnall Gleeson, Will Poulter. Good effects. I mean, if you guys haven't seen The Revenant, definitely give it this one a go. Alright, coming in at number 9 is The Grey. The Grey is really good. I mean, I actually recently just talked about this when I was doing my top 10 movies set in the snow, and, The Grey was in that list. The Grey is really good. Terrible ending, I'm going to admit right off the bat. It had a really terrible ending, but overall, it's a still decent film. I mean, Liam Neeson gave an amazing performance here. I mean, Liam Neeson facing off against wolves. What else could you ask for? Also, you had the great Frank Grillo. Dermot Mulroney was great in this. It was directed by Joe Conahan. He did a good job with this. Yeah, I mean, The Grey is a really decent film. It got released in 2012, and it still gets talked about now, like a lot now. And too bad we never, got around to see a sequel to this, because I would love to have seen another one. Because the ending literally leads a film opening with a sequel. So too bad Joe Conahan and company, couldn't go ahead and make a sequel to this, because I would love to have seen another one. Coming in at number 8 is Life of Pi. Now, like The Revenant, this movie also scored an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. I think it won a few. I think for like the sound effects and stuff. It was directed by Ang Lee and is of course based on a book. And in it, here's what it's about. After deciding to sell their zoo in India and move to Canada, Sanosh and Jita Patel bought a freighter with their sons and a few remaining animals. So, like a terrible storm sinks the ship, leaving Patel's teenage son Pi, played by Suraj Sharma, who's like the only human survivor, and he's actually not even alone. Like his companion is a Bengal tiger. That's right. His companion is a Bengal tiger. I mean, Life of Pi is a really good movie. Suraj Sharma, I thought he was really good as the title role. Suraj Sharma is also on that new show, God Friended Me. He's actually really good on that show. Of course, God Friended Me just got renewed for season 2. Anyway. But this was a really good film. Ang Lee did a good job. I mean, I think this was like Ang Lee's first 3D feature, and he did a really good job with that. I mean, if you guys haven't checked out Life of Pi, definitely give this one a shot. Coming in at number 7 is The Shallow. Now, I'm going to say this now. I think Blake Lively should have scored her first Oscar nomination for this movie. She was that good. I mean, it's pretty much her on a... I mean, it's pretty much her on a shallow rock surrounded by sharks. That's pretty much it. And Blake Lively, I mean, Blake Lively done good stuff before The Shallows, like Gossip Girl and a few others, like Age of Adeline. But I gotta say, this has got to be the best performance she's given. I mean, it's pretty like she's mainly the only bigger star in this, and she held her own well. And not to mention, she had a few good supporting characters. I mean, there's a seagull here that she calls Steven Seagull. Of course, the sharks in this was pretty cool. I mean, such a fun film. It is really intense. Like, it's PG-13, but I gotta say, I think they should have made it R-rated because there are some stuff here that look pretty graphic for a PG-13 film. And it was also directed by John Collette Sarah. He did a good job with this. I mean, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out The Shallow yet, definitely give this one a go. It's a really good film. And it all has to do with Blake Lively's performance. I mean, she really held her own well in this. Coming in at number 6 is The Martian. Now, of course, this is about someone people trying to retrieve Matt Damon. I mean, how many movies have you seen Matt Damon in where someone has to bring him back home or something? Like Saving Private Ryan, The Martian, Interstellar. I'm like, guys, do you guys have a thing with Matt Damon? I mean, I'm starting to wonder if Jimmy Kimmel are writing these scripts. Anyway, The Martian is a really good film. I mean, it was directed by Ridley Scott. Matt Damon, I mean, he's pretty much us trying to survive in Mars. It was amazing here. And also the cast in this was pretty good. Like, you had Kristen Wiig, Chiwetel Ejiofor was in this. Who else? Oh yeah, Sebastian Stan. It had loads of people. And it's a really good film. I mean, it scored Best Picture at the Oscars, and well deserved. It's that good of a film. And not to mention, it's also based on a book as well. So, to be honest, I literally thought this was based on a true story. Like, I thought the book that it's based on was based on a memoir when I first first heard about this movie. I literally thought it was based on a true story, but turns out it wasn't. All right, coming in at number 5 is Into the Wild. Now, this movie is also based on a book, and it stars Emil Hirsch as Christopher McCandless, who's the son of wealthy parents, played by William Hurt and Marcia Gay Harden. And, he graduates from Emory University as a top student and athlete. And, instead of embarking on a career, he decides to... he pretty much chooses to give his savings to charity and sets out on a journey to Alaskan wilderness, and it's a really good film. I mean, it was directed by Sean Penn. Of course, you had Kristen Stewart was in this. I think Vince Vaughn was in this too. Guys, haven't checked that. It's a really good film, and it shows how much of a good actor Emil Hirsch is. He's really underrated, I gotta say. Like, every time the guy's in something, he nails it. Even if he's in something very terrible, the guy's still pretty good in it. And I really like Emil Hirsch as an actor. And, I mean, if you guys haven't seen Into the Wild, check this one out. It's a really good one. And, of course, he has to do a lot of stuff to survive here, so... All right, coming in at number 7 is Lord of the Flies. Now, I'm going to go with the 60 version. Like, there's a one that, an R-rated version that got... An R-rated remake that got released in, early 90s. But I'm actually going to go with the original. Now, I've seen the original when I was in school one time, and it's a really triumphant film. I mean, it's pretty much about kids, who whose plane, crashes on a desert island, and there's like no adult survivors, so the boys are forced to fend for themselves. And I mean, this movie is really intense. And in it, there's also, I believe there's only one female in this as well. It's kind of like I guess you could say it's kind of like It, but just without the clown, and with the kids on an island instead of other instead of their neighborhood. So, but anyway, Lord of the Flies is a classic. I mean, it's of course based on a classic book. The kids in this was really good, and it's also pretty intense. I mean, yeah, there's literally stuff in this that's pretty hard to watch at times, and I mean, it's all involving kids and all, and it's really good. I mean, if you guys haven't checked out Lord of the Flies, give this one a watch. And also, I believe like Warner Brothers is in talks to do like a female version of Lord of the Flies, so looks like we're going to get another Lord of the Flies in the future. But if you guys haven't seen the original, definitely check that one out. Coming in at number 3 is Blue Lagoon. Now, this is pretty much about two teenagers who, are stranded on a desert island after their cousins, shipwrecks, and their relatives pretty much die. So the two teenagers had to fend for themselves, and they also end up falling in love and all. And I mean, they were pretty much on that island pretty much since they were infants, and they pretty much grew on the island, and of course they fall in love, and they discover like other stuff. It's actually led by Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins. I love Blue Lagoon. It's a really fantastic movie. Really, dug the chemistry between Brooke Shields and Christopher Atkins. I mean, they were pretty much the only major stars in it, other than like the people who sadly, got killed in the film. I mean, if you guys never seen Blue Lagoon, it's really good. They also did like a sequel with Mila Jovovich that you don't have to watch. The original is the best. And I mean, definitely check out Blue Lagoon because it's an 80s classic. And it is, there are some intense moments in this, but it's still pretty decent. Oh, and also the chemistry between both Shields and Atkins, also the best part about the movie as well. So, coming in at number 2 is 127 Hours. Now, this movie was directed by Danny Boyle and starred James Franco as adventurer Aaron Ralston, who pretty much becomes trapped when a boulder falls on his arm. And of course, over like the next 5 years, he examines his life and considers his options, which of course leads him to to a choice. So he pretty much chops off his arm. And I mean, it's also based on a book, and it's based on a true story. I mean, it's hard to believe how much of a true story this thing is based on, and it's crazy. That he went through this stuff. I mean, it's crazy. It's intense. James Franco. I mean, he's got an Oscar nomination for this, and I think people can make an argument to be made that he probably could have had won his Oscar for this because he was really that good in this. Of course, you also had Kate Mara was also in this, and she was also in The Martian too. Anyway, I mean, it's a really good movie. Danny Boyle did a good job at directing. If you guys haven't seen this film yet, definitely check out 127 Hours. And not to mention, Deadpool pretty much spoofed it in the first Deadpool. If you guys seen Deadpool, you know what I'm talking about. All right, now, what's the best survival movie? Coming in at number 1 is a no shocker. That is Castaway. I mean, of course, Castaway is going to be number 1. I mean, Tom Hanks stranded on an island with a volleyball named Wilson. And of course, he has to, pretty much survive on that island. It was directed by the great Robert Zemeckis. It's an amazing movie. Tom Hanks scored an Oscar nomination for this. I think he probably could have won his third Oscar for this, by the way. And if I'm mistaken, this might be the last time he actually scored an Oscar nomination. Kind of messed up because Tom Hanks he's a legend. So every time he's in a movie, he deserves an Oscar nomination. Except for the Circle, no one did not deserve an Oscar nomination for that. Anyway, as I was saying, the Castaway is a really amazing movie. There are some intense moments in this, but the performance by Tom Hanks is definitely the best out of the whole film. And Robert Zemeckis, of course, did a good job at directing. He also had Helen Hunt was also in this. Who doesn't love Helen Hunt? Come on. Yeah, this is a really fantastic film. And, of course, who doesn't love the volleyball Wilson? I think there's an argument to be made that Wilson could have scored an Oscar nomination. He would have been the first volleyballer to get an Oscar nomination. Anyway. But yeah, definitely check out Castaway because it's amazing. The movie, it got released in 2000, and boy, next year Castaway turns. My God, next year Castaway turns 20. Wow, feeling old yet, guys? Anywho, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, The Revenant. 9, The Grey. 8, Life of Pi. 7, The Shallows. 6, The Martian. 5, Into the Wild. 4, Lord of the Flies. 3, Blue Lagoon. 2, 127 Hours. 1, Castaway. Now, there's a few other ones I could have added. Most recent, that movie Adrift, the one with Shailene Woodley and Sam Caffin was pretty decent. Mad Max Fury Road's a survival one. Everest, The Hunger Games I could have added. The Road with Viggo Mortensen's pretty decent. Let's see. Alpha is a decent one. The Mountain Between Us was not all that great, to be honest, yeah. All Is Lost with Robert Redford was alright. The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin's pretty decent. 8 Below's a good one. Jeremiah Johnson, another Robert Redford film, is pretty decent. Let's see, Survivor Island with the guy who plays Fernando on Fuller House. That was alright. Dawn of the Dead's a good one. Deliverance, that's a classic. Swiss Family Robinson's a classic. The River Wild's a pretty good one, which had Meryl Streep in it. But anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite survival movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas S. signing out.